Alright, morning everybody. Welcome to another round of Coffee and Questions. What are we going to talk about today? I'm going to do another little restoration kind of a video. I'm going to show you something kind of weird, that I ran across that was at this place I keep telling you about that's closing down, and he's slowly selling off stuff, and I always look for things that are real cheap, things that are interesting, and then, I can do videos, but I want to restore them, and I'm possibly going to want to keep them. So, what I did is I came across a couple of one block plane, and, well, they're probably both block planes. So let me show them to you, and we'll explain to you what I did. The first one, right here, it's big. Now, what did I do with this when I got it? It was really dirty. It looked like crap. Again, it was thrown in a box. I went ahead and I cleaned this up, the best that I could. And then I turned around and I wiped it down really good, and I put a coat of Johnson's paste wax. Now, up here, I had to fiddle around. These were all frozen up, well, this whole mechanism up in here. And the latch, which pops up and down, and that's what secures the blade, the cutting blade here. So this was an interesting little project because I had to free that stuff up. So what did I use? Well, I used a little bit of squirt of PB Blaster. I let it sit overnight. Luckily for me, everything was loose in the morning. And then I used a little bit of WD silicone spray, and I shot the parts with it. I cleaned it up. It's a pretty cool little conversation piece. See if I can get a better view. Okay, and voila. Pretty cool. Like I said, I'll put it away, sell it maybe eventually. I don't know. I know there's places and people that collect these things, but it's all here. It's all intact. It's got one break up here in the handle. I could not find the piece in the box. It's probably long ago lost, forgotten, but it's got a screw up in here, and I think it goes all the way down, and it's what secures this handle into this piece of wood here. It goes through this metal piece here on the bottom. Everything else on it's intact. Everything else is on its working fine. You could probably use it right now if you wanted to. But, okay, so what else did I find? Okay, let me show you. One that's even older. Okay, old block plane. It's got a wooden wedge, piece of steel. I went ahead, I pulled the wedge out, and I retracted the piece of steel so it doesn't come in contact. It's still very, very sharp. But I did it the same way. I cleaned this up. I actually decided to try something different on this and see how well it would work. I used that Bartender's Keeper's Helper stuff. I'll drop it in the link below. And I got this damp, and I scrubbed it. It was almost black. It didn't really do anything to the old finish or anything like that, but it cleaned up all of the grime off of it. So that's something else that can work too. If you want to try it. Bump the camera trying to turn this thing. What's interesting about this, I couldn't figure out, is there is a hole here with a dowel in it. Okay, why is that there? I have no idea. Maybe somebody can drop a comment below and tell me. The other thing that I noticed is they must have lost long ago the way that this handle was affixed. There's this old nail running right through it, right here. Now, I'm not going to take it out. I probably could cut the nail head down, put a drop of glue or something and make it look perfectly fine again. So you're not going to want to grab it right now, of course, because of the nail sticking up out of there. I pressed on it. I played with it. I think this was just a replacement nail that somebody tapped into there, but it's still, from that era or whatever. I can tell the nail is really old. Best thing to do downstream, if somebody wanted to, was to cut the head. Pull the nail, cut the head, drop it in there with a little, bit of CA glue or something. It would look perfectly fine. And I may do that downstream, but for right now, this was the restoration of it. I cleaned it up real well with that Bartender's Keeper's Helper stuff I bought online. It seems to work really well on a lot of things. And then I dried it off really well, and I put a coat of Johnson's paste wax. So this like I said, is older than the other one. Interesting restoration. You know, I'm going to enjoy having these just sitting around, maybe like this on a platform or something. They're all intact, they still work, all the parts still move. It's just part of keeping a little bit of history, I guess. You can imagine when electricity and shops weren't around and people had farms and all this other stuff, they made these themselves out of wood, they used them. It's got some kind of history to it, where it came from and what all it was used on, I'll never know. But you know, it's interesting keepsake, for me anyway, because I like restoring things like this and keeping them around. Okay, I'm the Home Handyman. I hope you click subscribe. This was just another quick tip, and as I restore things, even though these are very simplistic ways that I do it, because I don't want to tamper with the original finish, I don't want to restore the painting on the black metal, I'm not going to do any of that. I'm leaving these things totally, you know, the way that they are. And we'll see what happens, but it was just a matter of cleaning it up, putting a little wax on there, making all the parts movable again. Kind of fun. It doesn't take a long time to do it. You save them from somebody throwing them out as junk or selling them, you know, very cheaply and just wanting to get rid of them. So not a lot of time involved, but you know, well worth trying to save a piece of history or just a keepsake to show somebody this is what they used long ago, right? Okay, I'm the Home Handyman. I hope you click subscribe. I hope you follow me. I'll keep doing these. I try to get right to the point with no long intros. If you got any comments or anything that I missed, let me know. Otherwise, I'll see you on the next video. You folks have a great day. Bye-bye.